Hello. I hope you are doing well today. I am adjusting here because, yeah, I'm not used to being by myself. I'm still used to like interviewing other people or talking to other people and stuff. So I'm not sure how to get my screen. Oh, I think I just figured it out. Oh, there it is. Okay, we're good. Okay. So I'm going to breathe and take my time right now because I am so far behind right now that I literally just sat down. Like usually I am like at my little studio, about maybe, 15 minutes, maybe at least 10 minutes before. Yeah, that didn't happen today. So I literally just sat down in front and like turned on and made sure everything was cut off so that hopefully I'm not getting any bad feedback. I'm turning my phone off also or putting it on do not disturb. So I'm going to take my time before we actually jump on into topics and start talking about, things. So yeah, I'm going to do something I don't usually do. Well, yeah, I'm going to wait for people to come in and say hello and then I shall do some proper introductions. But right now I'm putting my phone on do not disturb. So, yeah. Anyways, I hope that you guys are doing well. And I said I was going to try to share some things. Every time I do a live, I say that I'm gonna like share screen so I can like bring up some stuff or bring up video. And even though I do it like when I'm in any other like virtual meetings or anything like that, I'll like easily share a screen. But I don't know, sometimes with a live, I'm just kind of scared I'm gonna mess it up and the whole world's just gonna fall apart. Okay. So anyways, thank you for coming. Please do say hello. Tell me where you are in the world. I would love to know. In case you guys didn't know, I'm in Spain. Yeah, I've been here for like over a year now. But yeah, I'm in Spain. I'm in Zaragoza, Spain. So yeah, home sweet home. Yes. Hi, Aileen. How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for joining as always. I really appreciate you. So yep, I am. Yeah, I am so discombobulated right now, but all is well. All is well. I am, I'm doing this live because at first I was like, since I'm going to be interviewed by somebody else this evening at like in a couple of hours, I was like, I need to do a live today. And I was like, yes, you do. Yeah, I do. I want to share. I got stuff to talk about. Yeah. And anyways, well, let's get the party started. Yes. So I'm actually, I changed this my little name thing up here, but I think I want to change it back. I don't know if I like that. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and change my name back to Yolanda and locating cozy. Yeah, I think I like it better. Some people like have their IG name on here, but yeah, I think I just kind of like it just to have my name and then yeah, locatingcozy.com. I guess that'll work. And so anyways, oh, oh wow. As I'm doing things, I'm realizing that I closed down all of my like to make sure there's no back noise. I shut down all my other browsers that had like some other links on there that might be kind of important that I need to share. So yeah, give me a second. In case you guys didn't know. Okay, so first of all, for those who don't know, if you're wondering why are you seeing all this all up in your face right now, let me just tell you who I am. My name is Yolanda. I am locating cozy, and this is a broad chat. So thank you for joining today and coming and hanging out with me. Whether you're enjoying this right now during the live, I do encourage interaction. I do encourage you to make your comments, questions, all that wonderful positive feedback because yeah, any kind of negativity you'll get blocked, and I don't know you. Okay, but I do appreciate you guys coming, and if you're catching the replay later on, please do put your comments. Make sure that you do like and subscribe. Tell me how much that I'm awesome. And yeah, I would love your feedback on the things I'm going to be sharing today. So whether you're commenting now or commenting later, I always reply. I enjoy that. Okay. So let me go ahead and bring up some important information because, again, I should just have that and I don't have it pulled up. Like one of the most important things is like, get on an email list. Yeah, make sure that you not just subscribe, but you also get on the email because I uh, have some offerings that are coming up pretty soon, and my scheduling for the next quarter is about to open up as far as your travel buddy experience and also me and my wonderful attorney here in Spain are kicking off some services to help you if you're considering moving to Spain. So, yeah, you have options with me now. Okay. So, they're going to be kicking off. So, you need to make sure that you do get on the wait list so you'll be the first to know if I can find it. Yeah. That's what you call not being completely ready. Okay. So, yes. If you think that you want to move to Spain, and or if you just want to come but you're afraid of actually you feel like you just cannot go by yourself, that it's just not for you, then you need to consider having a travel buddy, and that's the service. It's only for females, okay, that maybe don't want to travel alone. And here in Spain, I can be your support. I can meet you in Zaragoza, Barcelona, or Madrid, and be there and hang out with you and help show you around. And this is not a tour guide situation. This is a personalized experience situation because tour guides, all due respect, love me a great tour guide. That's not me because I don't have just one set itinerary. I get to know you, and then from there, I will actually create an activities and experiences for the day with you and me. Yes, here in Spain. So if you're afraid of actually traveling by yourself, then you need to know when my schedule opens up for the last quarter of the year. And also get on this mailing list. This is a wait list right here. Make sure you get on the wait list so then you'll know when I do actually launch the relocation advisor services that are coming soon also. So this is just so you'll be in the know, okay? And if you actually need to talk to me because you will be coming sooner and you need to talk to me like sooner about having a travel buddy experience, then there's a way in the link for you to actually go ahead and book some time with me so we can discuss what your specific needs are. Okay? Okay. All right. Anyways, and also the link is in the description. So, ladies, and maybe if some gentlemen are here, how you doing? Thank you for joining. I surely do appreciate you. You know, I always have to ask. Please do tell me, how are you locating your cozy? What have you done that's just about you, that just brought you joy, that was like, you know what, it just made you feel good. It wasn't for the betterment of anybody else but for you. You want to know what I did? Okay, hold up, hold up. Okay, so some of y'all already know that I kind of jump and do different things and stuff. And just by the way, also just FYI, we are still there's still going to be some emails going out. And if you're actually interested in doing the possible Camino walk next year, in maybe April or May of next year, there is also a sign up option for that. So you'll be in the know as we start to plan that. That's later on. That's for April or May of next year. So I'm not really going hard on that, but it is important because if you are interested, I had like 30 something women sign up and say, yes, I want to do the Camino walk next year. And that information is also in the description. And it is also right here. So it's also in the description, excuse me, here for you to sign up. It's also in the description. So if you're interested in doing the Camino walk, I'm not doing 500 miles. Okay. I'm doing maybe I think 5 to 7 days. I'm not sure yet, but just FYI, I'm not doing 500 miles. That's just not my mission. But if you want more information, we are building a little community about that also. So just FYI, all the information is in the description. Okay, so what have I done lately to locate my cozy? Well, I bought a sewing machine. I bought a sewing machine. So let me tell you what happened. So I can't believe. Yes, I actually bought a sewing machine, and I'm really excited. So the reason why I bought a sewing machine is because, as many of you know, I have been talking about this. I have been wanting to take sewing classes now for a while, and I finally signed up for sewing classes here in Spain, Spanish sewing classes. They don't speak English. And I did my first intensive class on Monday, and it was really great. And I made a okay. I made a bag. I made a bag. I'm so proud. I did this. This was like in three pieces before. It was just three pieces of cloth before, and I did that. So yes, that's what you do when you do the intensive. Like it's like a 4 hour class that you do. Okay. So now I didn't go and decide just to buy a sewing machine just because I made a bag. That's not it. I actually decided to get the sewing machine because I'm actually taking. I did the intensive like onboarding thing. I chose to do that, but then I'm also taking classes once a week right now through December or through mid-December. So that's why I got a sewing machine, and I'm happy to say that one, well, happy kind of, I'm thankful. I'll say that in the class, I just assumed because there was one instructor that did speak a little English, but I just assumed that I would have to make it out, just make my way through it. And I did on the intensive class that I did on Monday. The owner was the one that was teaching us, and she didn't speak any English at all. And I was, I literally said to the other five people that were in the class, and I said, no habla español. And they were looking, other students were looking like, why are you here? Like, really? You're you're gonna take this class right now, a 4 hour class? And but what I did was I turned on my Google Translate conversation, and I just kind of put it right by as she was talking. And then I just went back and kind of looked. I mean, she was explaining everything on what to touch and what to do. And it was very, I understood a lot of it, but on the parts that I didn't understand, I was recording what she was saying. And then I just went back and kind of went over the instructions a little bit in English in my phone to make sure I understood. And I also saved that conversation. So before I go to my next class, I can go back and kind of look at, we have homework, look at some of the notes and also some of the instructions that the owner, Victoria, gave in the class, in the intensive. So with that, when I came home, and for the past couple of days, just with me doing many other things, I was looking at some YouTubes just to make sure that I understood. So in the class, the regular class that I'm taking, the one that I'm doing once a week, um, the instructor was she knows some English, so she was actually the one that was teaching me directly because it was me and another young lady that were newcomers, and the other lady didn't speak Aragon Spanish. She spoke Catalan Spanish, and so she had to be the lady. The instructor actually was able to speak to her in her version of Spanish. So she was speaking to her in Catalan and Catalonia. She's from Catalan, the Catalan region. Anyways, so she was speaking to her in her dialect of Spanish, and then she was speaking to me in, her the best version of English that she could speak, and it was really great. It was really great, but I still knew that in order for me to keep up with learning and understanding, because we're making a skirt right now. That's what you make in the first class. I'm hearing like a horn honking. Anyways, I'm making a skirt. So I just want to make sure that I'm up on it. So last night, as I was doing some research, yeah, I got a beginner. I got a beginner sewing machine off of online, and yeah, it's coming tomorrow. And the thing is, also, I'm not justifying it, but I am going to say this. So a couple of months ago, I got some clothes taken in, and I went to a tailor here, and the lady was very nice. But I think it was like three pair of pants that she took in, and I think it was like upwards of, I think it was like 60 euro. And so I know that right now I'm actually losing some weight right now, and I am not at a point where I need to be like buying a whole new wardrobe yet. So a lot of my clothes are like a lot looser. So I was like, okay, you're gonna have to take these back to that tailor. And I'm like, or you know what? If I pay 60 euros a plus to get these clothes altered and brought and take them in, or I can pay 100 euro for the sewing machine and, and utilize it since I'm taking classes for the next few months and just be able to take them in. So yeah, that's what I did. My locating cozy is I bought a sewing machine. Okay. That's the long way around to say I'm happy. It's just about me and I don't care because I'm happy about this. And then long term, I look forward to doing some other things, and I love to go to a good thrift store and find stuff to upcycle. So yeah, that's my whole jam. Anyways, let's see. So yes, I'm going from this to styling clothes. I'm going to be a designer for the party of one. Anyways, let's see what's going on in the chat here. Oh, yay, more people have come in. I'm so very thankful. Yay. It says, so, oh my goodness. Uh, Aileen says, at the 9 to 5 in Minnesota, pretending to work since my mind is in Panama, thinking of where to go and go. Oh, at the end of the month. Okay, so at the end of the month. Okay, cool. Oh my God, Catalonia. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Cece asks, "Oh, hi, Cece. Okay. Yeah. She says, "Hey, I just tuned in. Are you in France? I've got oh, go. Oh, no. Actually, Cece, aren't you from France? You're from France, right? No, I'm not in France right now. I'm actually back home. I was on a 2 week pet sit, and I got back 2 Saturdays ago. Was that 2 Saturdays ago? Yeah, I got back 2 Saturdays ago, and but I wanted to do the part two of talking about my experience in France. But yes, it's so good to see you. If y'all don't know, so now I want to go back. I actually interviewed Cece. What did I say? I'm sorry. Who am I thinking about? Oh gosh, who's the young lady? It's not Cece. No, Cece, I know I interviewed you on my channel, but I am thinking about another young lady that I interviewed, and I believe she has Afro Girls of Valencia. Yeah, she's the one that actually is from France and originally. Sorry about that. I've interviewed a lot of people. Yes. Hello. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. But no, I am back. But I definitely wanted to share my experience because I have been posting some clips from my experience in France, and I really do want to make sure that I'm getting better at creating clips and posting more stuff on Instagram. And one day I'll get on TikTok. I'm not there yet, but yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I have so much stuff to share because yeah, I took a whole bunch. I have a whole bunch of content to share. Yeah, thank you. So, again, please do make sure that you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll know the next time I have something really wonderful and cool and encouraging and insightful to share. Right? Right. Okay. So, thank you very much. Let's see. I'm looking. So we're going into topics just a second. Am I trying to stay? I'm trying to stay on point. If y'all don't know me by now, it's like I'm the chick that goes squirrel, and I try to stay on point, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. So wish us luck today. All right. Okay. I have my notes. So, yeah, I was in Spain for 2 weeks. It was a beautiful experience. I look forward to going there again. I look forward to finding another pet sit sometime in 2026. I hope to go to Paris sometime in 2026. But yeah, I'm going back to Marseille. Yeah, Marseille definitely, it fed my soul. It was a wonderful experience. That was my first time ever going, and yeah, I'm hooked. Yes, but I wanted to make sure that I shared, some things that I experienced, and some things were great, and some things were kind of questionable. I want people to know that no matter where they go in the world, any kind of travel experience, whether you're slow traveling or just bopping around, like every other week or whatever it is, things don't always go as planned. So just be open to that, and don't shut off opportunity because things maybe didn't go as planned exactly. Shit happens. Okay. And then you work your way through it and you move on. Yes. But with that, yeah, in France, I wanted to share some of the food experience there. So while I was there, and usually anywhere that I go, I will always try to do at least one food tour, um, and then I try to do at least one historical tour. That's just kind of my jam. That kind of gives me some insight. So as far as the food tour, the food is great there. Really great food. The food tour I will say that although the food tour was really great, I probably had a better food tour experience in Madrid. I actually had, I think Spain revealed they have a food tour service that they have it in different places in Spain and in Portugal, and that food was it was a better food tour experience. The food was good. Let me just go back. The food was good. There was just some foods that I was just like, I'm not feeling this, and for what I just paid, I felt like there should have been more. But what I did have was some great oysters. I just had raw oysters for the first time in October of last year here in Zaragoza when I had some friends come to visit and we went out for this dining experience and had raw oysters and they were really good. So on the food tour, I had raw oysters again and they were really good. And so yes, I think I am starting to get down with some raw oysters. I think I still don't know if I'll just eat them from anywhere, but I feel like I was right on the coast. I was good to go. They were really good. The other thing that I had there was some chickpea fritters. Yes, chickpea fritters. And they tasted like potatoes. I thought that they were literally just like some kind of like fried mashed potatoes. What is that they have in? It's not latkes. What is the Jewish pancake with or the potato pancake things. That's what it tasted like, but they said it was chickpeas and it was really good. But it tasted like fried mashed potato hash browns. That's what it tasted like, and it was just really really delicious. So we went to like four different. Actually, you know what? As I'm saying that, and I'm thinking about the food experience, the food tour. Now I'm like, that food was freaking good. I really did have a great food tour. It was some really wonderful people. There was like maybe five other. No, there's like 5 or 6 other people there. Now, I am gonna tell you guys a story about what happened because I got a little petty, and I'm okay with that. So there was one other lady in the food tour that was from no, actually, there was 2 ladies that was from America. Both of them lived in Paris and were in Marseille visiting. And then there were some people from other places. I was the only black woman. I was the only black person there. Everybody was very nice. No problem there, except for one young lady that was from the US. And, I talk and, we're all communicating. But at one point, I was saying something and I turned and I saw her rolling her eyes. And so then I said, I'm going to be your best freaking friend. And so I was all up in her face the entire time. And I know I was annoying her. So I wasn't going to share this story, but yeah, I am. So the thing was, it's like I thought I didn't know if maybe she was just conservative that was just like just didn't like and thought that she was going to get away from all the liberals in France. I don't know, but there was another couple. It was a gay couple that she was like totally befriending. So I was like, oh, it's me. Now I understand that maybe you just don't like me or don't care for me just because you just don't, and I really don't care because I was just spending maybe a few hours, with this group, but when I caught her rolling her eyes, I said, "I'm gonna be all up in your face now." So and I was. And, it was just she was so beyond annoyed with me, and I knew it. And, like little things when the tour guide actually brought us over some had some drinks. We had some drinks. We were sitting at this one place and we had some drinks. And, we lift up to toast and she toasted everybody. And I went over and clinked my glass. And I was like, oh, here you go. And I clinked my glass on her and stuff. Because the thing was, she wasn't being overtly rude where everybody could see it, but I knew it. I peeped it, and I was just like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna be best friends, and I'm dare you to act a fool with me." And yeah, she that was a wonderful food experience. There was a food tour that I will never forget. But yeah, she was giving just a little attitude, like I was just annoying her. So because of that, I was like, "Well, I'm gonna annoy you even more now." Yes. Oh, that felt great. Yes, and I really did. At the end of the evening, she couldn't get out of there fast enough, at the end of the evening. And, I connected with, some of the other people. We exchanged some numbers, like, the couple, the gay couple, they were like, "Well, if you're ever in France or if you're ever in Paris, make sure you look us up. We can definitely give you some insight on some great places." And I was like, "Wonderful." But yeah, that lady could not get out of there fast enough, but I had a wonderful time, just wonderful. It was great. I was telling my daughters about it later on. They were like, "So you just had to get petty?" I was like, "Yes, of course I did. Yes." Oh my gosh, yeah. But yeah, the food scene is great. I will say that Um, so and if you've seen some of my stuff, follow me on Instagram, on IG, you'll see some of the stuff I'm talking about. But down by the two main tourist areas that I came across was, of course, because I was literally 2 block or a block and a half from the beachfront. So of course that's a major tourist area. But the biggest tourist area is in the old port, the old dock area, which was absolutely beautiful. So many boats. I swear it seems like everybody there owns a boat. But over there in the old dock area, where all the boats are, there's a lot of restaurants. It's like a big U, before you actually, because you can get on a boat, take a tour, and then go out to sea and do a little cruise, a little dinner cruise or personal cruise out there. But right there in the dock area, there's a lot of restaurants. It's so beautiful. Just really, really nice. But I do want to say that if you ever go to Marseille, and this is just my humble opinion. The restaurant scene is great, but I would say don't necessarily go to the restaurants that are right in front of the dock because I mean, they're nice, don't get me wrong, but it seemed like I had better food when I walked just 1 block away in each direction, just 1 block off, and you could find some really great food and like, all kinds of restaurants, all kinds of big, small, little mom and pop, maybe some, fine dining and things like that. But if you just it just seemed like the ones that I experienced that were right in front of the dock, like right there where all the crowds are walking by, the food was just okay. And of course, you have people out there, waving you and like, "Hey, come on, come on in." And what happened was after I did the historical tour, which I'll tell you in about a minute, I was hungry afterwards, and I went and sat down and to eat and finished eating and went to go pay because you get up and you go to the bar to pay, and they were like, "Oh no, we can't accept credit cards." What? So they were like, "Yeah, go to the ATM and get some cash." I I was like, why would you wait until I'm finished eating and come here to pay and then tell me, in French and everything, no, no, no card, you get cash, effectivo, cash, however they say it. Don't get me started. Um, and there was an ATM machine right next door. Okay. So yeah, had I not had my because I didn't want to use my actually, yeah, I have a Spanish bank account, so I was able to get, and I have a Wise account also. So, but the thing was, they would not, the credit card machine or not, the ATM machine would not accept my Wise card. It was like, nope, because I have my Wise card on my phone. But I also have a Spanish bank account and I have a physical card. So I did go ahead and bring that out and go ahead and get some cash out and I paid. But the thing was, had I only had my Wise card and if I didn't have a if I was just a regular tourist that maybe just had my credit card, my US credit card, and maybe a Wise card or maybe an ATM card from the US, I can't imagine what the fees would have been. Oh my gosh, I cannot imagine what the fees would have been, exchange rate fees would have been for that. So yeah, that was just foul. So here's just a little tip. When you go to a restaurant, and I think that should be asked anywhere that you go, but especially in tourist districts, wherever you are in the world, ask them if they accept credit cards before you sit down and start ordering food. Yeah. I never thought to do that before. Well, yeah, I never thought to do that, especially because this was like a nice little restaurant, little cafe, nice restaurant. It was like sit down, I ordered, I forgot what I ordered. The food was just okay. But, it was a nice sit down place. And so, yeah. But when I came back to go ahead and pay, which again, it was right next door, He said, "Oh yeah, all the credit cards are down right now." He was saying that all of them in the area are down, which I don't believe. I really don't believe. But yeah, just a good idea to go ahead and ask up front. Do you accept credit cards? I know here is excepto tarjeta in Spain. I can't remember how to ask it. I had it on my Google Translate when I was in France to for some basic questions to ask, but that's a good one. Find out how to ask in the country that you're in. Make sure that you ask them if they accept credit cards. I actually had that experience in Lisbon. Yeah, when I was in Lisbon in December for a pet sit. Here in Spain, they have to take credit cards in taxis. It's like some kind of law. And from what I understand, that's also the case in Portugal, except for one night. Because yeah, I had been using my credit card when if I needed to, like when I was in Lisbon. But one night, because I didn't feel like walking all the way back uphill to my pet sit, I took a cab back from where I was up the hill, and the guy was like, "No, no, cash, cash only." And I was like, I just happen to have €5 on me, and that's how much it was. I think it was like €5 and 60 cents. But I just happen to have that cash on me. But if not, I've understood that sometimes they'll be like, "Oh, we'll go to an ATM." No, we won't. You're gonna take this credit card, or because I'm pretty sure I could be wrong. So if somebody lives in Portugal or in Lisbon, please do either put it in the comments or, here or later on if you're catching this on the replay. If you know, does Portugal have to accept credit cards like Spain does? I'm just curious. So yeah, I've had that happen twice now. So yeah, it's always good just to ask, do you accept credit cards? Yeah. Because I'd be like, I don't have no cash. Because that could have been a very uncomfortable thing. And I'm pretty sure had had I pushed it and said, like I don't have any cash, I only have a credit card. I'm pretty sure the guy in France with the guy in France at the restaurant would have figured out a way to get that credit card run. I'm pretty sure. I wasn't gonna walk away and not pay. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, and again, oysters were good. Pizza, I had it 3 times while I was in France, while I was in Marseille, and it was spot on every single time. Oh my gosh. The first time it was a Saturday, and I went up to go thrift shopping, and I was like walking around, and I had been walking around for hours, and I was trying not to eat because I knew that I was going to be doing the food tour that evening, but I got hungry, so I just ended up getting like a slice of pizza just randomly, and it had eggplant on it. That pizza was so freaking good. So I had 3 different pizza experiences, and each time I was just beyond impressed. I was telling one of the ladies that I walk with here in Zaragoza, I was telling her about how great the pizza was, and I was saying that Spain doesn't have it like that, and she's like, "No, Spain does. It's getting a lot better." So, in Zaragoza at least. So I'm going to have to test that theory here in Zaragoza and see has the pizza gotten better. I'll let you know. Yeah. Uh, I feel like slow travel. I was there for 2 weeks, and I was actually working on things. I wasn't on vacation in France. I was staying there and I was experiencing the community and the locals and life there for 2 weeks. But I feel like I did not get as much and I didn't go out as much. Like I did not go to like black owned restaurants. And I had planned on going to check out some places, but I did not get a chance to really go because I literally was inside working on because I'm, working on the launch of the Travel Buddy experience and all that stuff. So I was literally inside for the last 2 days that I was there. And there was like somebody I was supposed to meet up with. I was supposed to go out again. And I had my list of places that I was like, okay, so you're going to go check out this and go to this place. And yeah, the last 2 days I was really on lockdown because I was trying to meet some deadlines that I had set for myself. So I do look forward to coming back. I do have a folder saved on my Google Maps of places that I want to check out, specifically Black owned or Black focused restaurants with, whether it's whatever it is from straight from the African, like Senegalese food or different types of food. I want to go check it out. There were some that had some great reviews and some that were not. So I'm going to the ones that had the good reviews and cross fingers. But it's so if we go, just FYI for the group, and you guys know who we're talking about, that wants to go to France, possibly for a meetup next year. I've saved a lot of resources of information of places to check out. So from my experiences and places that maybe I didn't get to experience, but I look forward to going there. So I have my list, just FYI. Let's see. What's next? Okay, so I told you guys about the restaurant, yeah, and about the ATM. Um, yeah, it's again. Oh, I was really concerned. That was the other thing because when I had to go to the ATM and I was able to use my Spanish bank account ATM card, but the thing spit the cash out and I didn't see any fees. Like it didn't say like this is going to be the fee, and I was like, oh, well, isn't that nice? They just gave me my money for free. Okay. Yeah, that didn't happen. But I was concerned because I did not get a receipt. It didn't give me a receipt and it didn't say anything about how much the fees were. But I kept checking my bank account like every couple of days, or actually every day until it finally posted. And they charged me a €3 fee, which, that's fine. As long as it wasn't anything crazy. And quite frankly, for my Spanish bank account, I might transfer into that account right now, like maybe €100 a month, just for incidentals and to keep like the balance there. I usually, yeah, most of my transactions, like I pay my rent out of my Wise account. So, and my electric bill and all that stuff, that's out of my Wise account right now. Well, yeah. Anyways, so I wasn't really well, I was concerned because it's still my money, but nothing weird was taken out, and I've been checking after that too, and there's been no weird activity. So, okay, maybe he wasn't like trying to get over on me. I don't know. Maybe that he could have owned the ATM machine. I don't know. Okay. Anyways, the historical tour that I did. Okay, so I had checked out a couple of things and I went on like Airbnb experiences and I found this gentleman, and there was supposed to be somebody else. There was a couple that was supposed to be doing the tour with me, and they canceled at the last minute. I think the wife was sick. So it was just me and my tour guide. And I think his name, oh God, I can't remember his name now, but I have him listed. He was so knowledgeable. He had just moved to Marseille within the past year, and he was just extremely knowledgeable, and it was really great to have this one-on-one experience. This one-on-one personalized experience. Sorry, strange person that I never met, that you and your wife got sick, but for me it was freaking awesome. It was so great to just have to just get that one-on-one conversation. And yeah, I just felt like it was personalized. I know, yeah, he was a tour guide, but he had moved there like a year ago, and so but he was a tour guide where like he's been doing the tourist scene for a while. He has like his degree in theology. I don't. He has some kind of historical degree. Okay, so he knows history. But yeah, it was just really cool because the ruins were I didn't even know that there was a mall that was really close, like really close to where we were, like in the old port, the old dock area. There's a mall like 2 blocks up. It's a really nice mall too, but it's built around ruins from, thousands of years ago. Yeah. They were digging up and building a mall, and when they started excavating, and I think this was like in the '60s when they started excavating, that's when they found all these ruins that were like, I don't know. I said thousands. I don't know. They were really old. They're ruins. Okay. I'm sorry if the verbiage isn't right, but so they had to actually keep it, and they had to build around it, and it was just really cool. The other fun fact that I found out was that Marseille's tourist scene is brand new. It just started like in 2013, 2014, and it was after the French government actually had put some like invested into the city of Marseille to bring it up to tourist level, I guess. But they wanted to do like a revitalization for Marseille. So that's why my tour guide just moved to Marseille like within the year, because he said there wasn't a big tourist scene then. So there wasn't reason for him. He just found the reason to go ahead and move here because the market is better now. But he gave a lot of insight, and so he literally, before he started, I'm looking up his name right now, so that's why I'm looking over to the side. Okay. But he just really, before he started his own service, he, made sure that he was well versed and learned a lot about the history, and studied and took some classes to make sure that he understood the history of Marseille. And it wasn't just like a brief, like, look at that over there, ain't that pretty? Because that would be me here in Zaragoza. I know where to go and, be like, ta-da, look. uh, do I know the history? No, I'm not that person. I know where to take you, to show you around, to embrace the beauty. But do I have the deep knowledge? No, that's not me. This gentleman did. He had a lot of great information, and I felt like I knew something by the time it all ended. Yeah, and we went on some just the most beautiful architecture. I'm really big on the architecture. I couldn't tell you. His name is Casper. I was like, what is his name? Yeah, his name is Casper. Anyways, yeah, it was really great. I think that day I walked about, I don't know, about a good 6 miles. I'm getting ready for that Camino one way or another. But yeah, I walked about a good few miles, and yeah, he showed me some great places. Oh, and I love all the murals and graffiti. Anywhere I go, I love me some murals and graffiti, and yeah, Marseille is not lacking in that at all. Just beautiful, beautiful structures and stories. And let me see, I do want to share something. I think I can do it. Hold on. I think, okay, and here, and where's the other one at? Okay, I'm going to share something just because they were just so beautiful, and hopefully I will do this right. So y'all, I'm gonna share my. Okay, here we go. So this is just some of the graffiti I got to see, and it was just really cool. And here's another one. Is that not beautiful? Yeah. And so I appreciated the fact that I was by my, oh, let me turn this off. Yeah. I appreciate the fact that I, again, had this personalized tour because I was stopping a lot. So yeah, if we would have had probably been with other company, I would not have had the opportunity to really stop and take as many pictures as I did, because it was just me and my tour guide. Just a second. So isn't that beautiful? Oh my God. Yeah. So, anyways, that's just some of the stuff that I took pictures of and took video of. So yeah. Anyways, so let's see. Again, I will be posting more because I have a whole bunch of stuff to share, but I will be posting that on Instagram or on my Facebook, and locate everything is Locating Cozy, by the way, or my shorts on YouTube. So what I was really, really digging, you guys, is, and I may have said this on the previous video, I can't remember if I had already gone, was the vintage scene, the thrift shops in Marseille are amazing. Oh my goodness, I get geeked about stuff like this. But it was like I found, I went to, I took the bus, and I went up to some area where there was supposed to be some thrift shop, and I found like three others. I just Google mapped and said, okay, find me some other vintage shops in the same area. So, anyways, I went there, and they just had so many wonderful things. I found this wonderful outfit that I'm going to be wearing when I go to Lisbon next month for the events there. Yeah, I don't know who's going to Lisbon, but if you are, let me know. And there was just some great outfits. The thrift shop scene here in Zaragoza is not happening, not the way it is in Marseille. There are some great thrift shops also in Madrid, but the sizes tend to run a little small. So finding stuff for this thick chick is kind of challenging in Madrid. In Marseille, I had to step back and be like, you don't have an extra suitcase, so you're not going to go crazy. But I did get a few things. Marseille seemed to really appreciate, and I don't know if it's because there's more Black community in Marseille, but yeah, the thrift stores had some really cute vintage items and some new items that were just really gorgeous and draped my body great. So I really truly appreciated that. Yes. So that's another thing. When I go back in, April or May of next year, I'm speaking it into existence. There's a group of us that are supposed to be trying to go there next year. I can't wait to take people and show them where all the thrift shops are. Yeah, I have that saved in my Google Maps. I have one folder just for the thrift shops. Yeah, and it wasn't just the vintage shops because they had like the open market, with all the brand. Oh man, I could have gone crazy on the jewelry. The only reason that I did not go crazy on jewelry is because I did not have cash on me. I did not go to an ATM and have cash on me because I didn't know at the time. I was like, I'm just gonna go wherever. But there was like a bunch of open markets that had all kinds of cute trinkets and jewelry that I could have just gone buck wild on, but I did not. So I look forward to going back so that I can really kind of dive deep into that. And also, it was just so many nice little cafes and restaurants and little sitting areas, just in little pockets of areas that you can just really enjoy. So, yes, of course, there's the tourist area, but then if you kind of go away from that, and what is that area called? I think it was called the first arrondissement. I think that's what it's called, arrondissement. Anyways, there's different little neighborhoods, and they're just gems. They're wonderful little gems that you can find and just chill. Yeah, and I did that. So if you guys have any questions, make sure you put a Q in front or just ask questions. I'd be happy to answer or tell you I don't know. So let's see. Yeah, so definitely thrifting feels like a treasure hunting. Like it's another culture there, and I look forward to going back there. I feel like I need to go back there and just have one empty suitcase just to put stuff in, just to go there and go shopping, and then like maybe go for. It's a 5 hour train ride. It's 5 or 6 hour train ride. So I feel like that's not a day trip. Although it could be, but I feel like maybe it could be like at least a weekend, like a 24-hour trip, but maybe a day trip if you get there early, early, early and just go to the vintage shops and then leave in the morning. I don't know. 5 hours, I think I need to stay overnight. That's just me. Some people may be able to just go take the train up for 5 hours and then come back. Yeah, but that's not me. We shall see. You never know. People, I think about it because I'm like, girl, you have literally driven up from Houston to Dallas for the day. So yeah, I guess I could. I think I could do a day trip to Marseille as I'm thinking about it now. And yeah, there's so many different little towns in between. That was the other thing. I thought that I would be going to like Nice or Nimes or there was a bunch of other little towns and everything or cities that were in between getting up to Marseille that you can stop in. I didn't go anywhere else. I said I was going to do some day trips to go check out some other places. I was in Marseille the whole time, again, because I was working and working on deadlines. So that's why. But, again, I didn't have to push everything into that one visit because I feel like I will be back. So there will be other things for me just to discover. Right? Right. Who's been to France? Any of you guys been to France? What part of France were you in? What did you like about it? I wanna know. Any recommendations? Where y'all at? Okay. So, one of the other things that I noticed. Oh, Okay, a couple of things. Okay. The weather in Marseille, I think I've said this before, but I'm going to stress it again, is it's humid. I am from Houston, Texas. It is humid in Marseille. It's well during the winter, during the summer months. It's humid and the mosquitoes were tearing me up. Okay. The other thing that I really thoroughly enjoyed, I think I want to say like in 3 days before I left, it started raining, and it started raining hard, hard, hard. Like, I was back in Houston, Texas, hard rain. And it's funny because my daughter here in Zaragoza, whenever it rains here, she's like, "Oh my god, it was raining so hard last night." And it rains in Zaragoza, but it has not rained like it does in Houston, Texas. In Marseille one night, it rained so hard that I woke up and I went right back to sleep. I slept like a baby. It felt so good. Because it was thundering and lightning, and you just hear it was just pounding down. And the thing was, the windows were still open, but they're so inset, and I had the shutters closed, so nothing got wet because the shutters, there was like these old rickety shutters, and but so there was nothing got wet inside, but it was just so nice and loud, and I slept so good. Oh my goodness, I slept so good. But you have to have the windows open during the summer if you are in an apartment that does not have any AC. And the flat that I was in did not have any AC. It was a wonderful little flat, but yeah, those mosquitoes were tearing me up. I was happy to get back here to Zaragoza just because of that. And mosquitoes, they happen here, but they seem to be next level in Marseille. So just FYI, that's the thing. The other thing that I noticed in Marseille, in the tourist area where I was staying, it smelled like urine on those streets. It was bad. Now, I don't know if it was because I'm assuming, I'm just gonna tell myself and assume that it was because of, the pets. People have their pets and stuff, and nobody was washing down the streets. I did sometimes when I would get up early in the morning because I like to go for nice long walks. I did see the street cleaners and somebody coming around and spraying some stuff on the sidewalks, but I don't think they did it enough. But the thing was, it was only in the tourist area where I was at. When I went up into the other neighborhoods, like I took a bus and went someplace else, I didn't smell it, but it was like right there in the neighborhood that was like a block from the beach. It was very unsettling just because I'd be like walking and la 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 stuff, and then just a whiff of urine would just like hit you hard, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm assuming that it was because of people walking their animals, walking their pets, and they didn't spray it down. I don't know, but it was very pungent, and yeah, I did not. I mean, who does like that? But it was just very noticeable and very unsettling. And sometimes I just be like, okay, I have to like before I even get a whiff of anything, let me just walk and breathe through my mouth the whole time. Okay. So those are the things that kind of put me off a little bit. But Marseille again, it just seemed to be in the tourist area of all the areas. It seemed to be more in the tourist area or by that particular neighborhood. I don't know. But anyways, so the other thing I wanted to bring up, security, the police presence in France it was very noticeable from the time we entered on the train from Spain into France. Every stop at the train station, I noticed, I'm like, there's a lot of cops out here. Yeah. And yeah, they had their guns, they weren't, I mean, they like some places they had like their guns, and I was just like, wow, this is very different. There's security, there's cops in, at the train stations in Spain, but it just is not very noticeable. This was noticeable. We stopped in Narbonne in France, and we were there for like a good 45 minutes, and they were arresting somebody on the platform, and then they went through and walked through the train, all the cars at some point, and they just kept going back and forth, and I was like, okay, but I mean, they weren't like being aggressive or anything, but it's just very noticeable that there's just a lot more security. Every time we stopped at a train station, you would definitely see police. So, and then when I went to do some meetups while I was in Marseille, and I was telling some of the groups because I went to like a polyglot group, and then I was invited to some other meetup through the site Meetup. There was like an international group of people, and we got together, and I was telling them about how there's so many cops at the train station. They were like, "Oh yeah, that's because the terrorist threats." I'm like, "What?" Okay. I Now, I don't watch the news because one is in French, or I really don't even watch the news here in Spain. I hear about things through other people, but I don't watch the news. But the way they said it so nonchalantly, oh, it's because of all the terrorist threats. I'm like, why am I here? Okay. That was just kind of, I guess it was just the way it was just so nonchalant, the way they said it, that had me like really perplexed. Anyways. So there was that. The other thing that I experienced as far as security, which in one breath, somebody's telling me at a meetup that, oh, it's because of all the security threats. And then the day that I left to go to go back home to, take a train, I left on a Saturday morning. It was early. I get to the train station to Marseille, go to sit down, have my coffee. I got there like maybe 45 minutes before, so I went and sat down and ordered some coffee, which I just figured out how to order coffee in French, like the day like an americano in French, uh, the day I was leaving. Yeah. Anyways, besides that, I'm sitting down. I am, just doing my own thing, waiting 45 minutes. Gets closer to the time to go ahead and get on the train to board the train, get in line, and we're walking through to get to the train, and they just look at my train ticket and let me on. They had no scanners. They had no body scanner, no luggage scanner, no nothing. And it really threw me because I'm hearing about threats, but yet at this particular train station, I don't know if it's like that at the other train stations, but it really threw me because in Spain, you always go through some kind of scanner. Your luggage has to be scanned. So I was very confused as to why they did not scan anything besides my train ticket getting on the train to go home in Marseille. I found that different and it kind of freaked me out. I'm like, you're not gonna check me? Like I'm ready to hold my hands up and be like, hey, like you need to do this for everybody. Okay. It didn't happen. So I just had like kind of I'm home, I'm safe, but it confused me. Now, I did ask some other people where was this at? I was talking to somebody else who was actually been in France, and they said, well, no, they do have the security scanners or whatever that are in like the Paris train stations. Just for some reason, they don't have it in Marseille yet, and I don't know why, but yeah, there you go. Just FYI. Ah, so Aileen says, just a day trip to Paris. I don't want to go back to explore more. What? You said, wait a minute. Did you go on a day trip to Paris or you want to go? Ooh, let's see. Wait a minute. Michelle, you said you were just there last month. Where were you at? Where were you at? Were you in Marseille or where were you at? I want to know. I got to know. Tell me, girl. Tell me. Yeah, she's like, it's super hot. Yes. Um, I did, you know what? It's super humid. The heat, surprisingly, well, I mean, I don't know, it could have been worse, but the heat did not bother me as much. It was the humidity that got me. That's what threw me more than anything. It was the humidity. I was like, what is happening here? And so it was just, I mean, I was just sitting down because again, they just had the fan. I think if it would have been maybe a drier heat, it would not have bothered me. But because I had a fan, it was very, nice little fan. But I was still just sitting in that apartment, just sticky. Just my body, yeah, my arms were just sticky, my chest was sticky, and I was like, oh my god, this is horrible. But yes, Oh, oh, wait a minute. I did have some new people on here. Just a second. Hold on, just a second. I'm gonna get back. I have a couple more things to go through. So, hi, KG Rebel. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. She says, "Hey, hey, I'm new to the channel. My first live. Thank you so much for joining. I really do appreciate it. I come on here because I like to talk. If you didn't know, okay. I like to talk. I like to share my experiences, to give insight. I like to share the good, the bad, and the ugly. I appreciate, whether you're watching the live now and you're here with me during the live, or if you're, able to check out the replay later on. I really appreciate, just sharing, and I'm so glad that you're part of it. Yay! And if y'all didn't know, I talk with my hands because I'm just a little expressive. But thank you so much for joining. I really do appreciate it. Let's see. Release Your Life says, I'm rushing through lunch errands. Just happy to see you doing your live chat. Yay. I will catch the replay. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. Go run your errands. Be safe. Take care. Oh, okay. So you were at on it. Okay, I'm not gonna say it. Provence. It's just 30 minutes away from Marseille. Okay, okay. And Aileen was saying that I went to Paris back in 2022 for a self-guided day tour. Oh, okay, from London. Oh, that's cool. I wanted to go back since I wasn't able to see everything I wanted to. Yeah, it's I can appreciate a good day trip. Don't get me wrong, and I can appreciate a good turnaround bop. I'm embracing the slow travel, but again, the thrifting, the vintage stores in Marseille has me really believing that I might be able to do a day trip there. I really feel like I should go up there, like, and maybe if there's a train that leaves at like 5 or, yeah, 5 in the morning on a Saturday morning. I'm dreaming big, y'all. On a Saturday morning, get there by 10, spend the day just thrifting and going and the open markets, and then headed back and get home by like by 9. I think that I can do that. Okay, y'all see the smoke on my face. I don't know. I This is coming from, now you have to understand something. This is coming from a person that even when I go to Madrid, which is just an hour and 15 minutes by train, I always still want to stay the night. I don't even do a day trip to Madrid. So the idea that I'm even thinking about doing a day trip to Marseille is quite hilarious. That's, yeah. And maybe a little bit unrealistic. Okay, so uh slow travel lessons. So yeah, even for 2 weeks, yeah, it's still, again, not enough time to do everything, but that's okay. Because again, clearly I have plans to come back, and it's about, sometimes it's just about savoring and not rushing and stuff. And I, I may have said this in the last video. I can't remember, so if I say it again, I say it again. But it was so funny because so many people were asking me, like, whenever I would like get together in the groups, because I met up with, I did, the food tour, I did the historical tour, which that was one-on-one, but I did 2 other meetup, uh, um, gatherings with locals and, people that were visiting. And the question is always, like, "Are you here on vacation?" And I don't know how to say, because I wasn't there on vacation. I have a big mouth, and I'm going to tell them, like, "No, I am here on a pet sit for 2 weeks, and I am not vacationing. I am here," I have a whole spiel that I do. And somebody had said to me, I think, Christine had said, "Why don't you just say that, you're just a digital nomad, you're a digital nomad?" I said, "But that doesn't give it the full scope." I have to, like, maybe I could say something simpler, but for me right now, I still like to give the whole spiel about what I'm doing out here in the world. I'm an international pet sitter who's here for 2 weeks. I'm not vacationing. Yeah. So one day I'll create a more simplified elevator pitch, but right now my elevator pitch is it's a 60-second elevator pitch. I think maybe I need to embrace maybe a 10-second elevator pitch, but I ain't there yet. So, Oh my goodness. One of the things I think I brought up also before, but I'm going to say it again. France is not cheap. France is expensive. Grocery shopping was challenging. I was shocked. Yeah, just going to the grocery store, that was expensive. I just remember one day I went and got a few things, maybe like some lunch meat or something like that, and it was like 6 euros for some lunch meat, and it was like maybe 3 slices, and I was just like floored. I did not like going to the grocery store in France. And the thing was, which was so funny, because you think that, I'm thinking like, stop complaining. You're fine. You're staying here. You have a whole place for 2 weeks for free. You're not paying any lodging. Both things can be true. But when I went to the meetup, and met up with some of the locals, like at the Polyglot and also at the meetup, international meetup, it was just funny because the locals were like, "Yes, it's very expensive here." It they were just they were literally confirming my thoughts. And I said it like, like, "Oh, I didn't realize it was so expensive." They're like, "Yes, Marseille is very grocery stores in France, living in France is expensive." I don't know what the rent and all that stuff is like, but I know groceries are not, I don't want to say cheap. They're they're not as affordable as they are here in Spain. I'll say that. And so I was happy to get back to the grocery store here in Spain. I was like, "Oh, yes. Thank you, Mercadona. Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. Thank you, Dia. I appreciate you." Okay. I walked to the grocery store. I was like, "Hi, people. Did y'all miss me?" Yes. So that's a reality check. But again, will I go back? Yes. I just now know some things. It's a little bit more expensive. Yeah. So one of the things that happened when I first got to the pet sit, the day afterwards, I shared, I didn't share this part of it. So I realized that when I am a coffee drinker now, I like my coffee strong. And so I ended up, because I wake up so early, the homeowner had a coffee pot, electric coffee pot. And so when I made the coffee, it just wasn't strong. And then also the coffee pot, the electric one did not get the coffee very hot. It was just like, to me, just lukewarm. I like my coffee hot. I like to be able to like barely take sips. That's how I like my coffee. So she had a one of those kettles, the electric kettles that you put the water in, and that you can heat up water. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I should have done this, but I didn't know. So I put the coffee in the electric kettle to heat it up, which I was like, yay, because I had heated up some water in there earlier. So I put the coffee in there to heat it up when I needed to, because she didn't have any kind of microwave. And I would have had to turn the stove on and all this stuff. So I was like, I'll just do it this way, and then I'll just clean out the pot, the water pot. Anyways, I heated it up, and you hear the little sound, and I came back in, and coffee had spilled all over the wall. It was like over in the corner on this butcher table. What is it? The little island table that was up against the wall, and it was a cart. And there was like coffee that spilled all on the wall, on the floor, and I was like, I don't know what happened. I have no idea, because I've used an electric water pot several times, so I don't understand why it did what it did. But yeah, there was coffee like all on the floor, so I had to pull out the cart, the island cart, and I had to like clean the floor, and I couldn't find the mop head. I just had like, anyways, the bottom line is I had to like use a whole thing of paper towels to clean the floor, and that was like day 2. So I cleaned the floor, and I literally am spraying the walls. She had some cleaner, and I sprayed the walls down and everything and stuff to get the coffee stain off and everything. And I was like, okay. And I had to make sure that before I left, that I went back and I mopped very thoroughly. Okay. Well, the time came for me to leave. That was like, day 2 of me arriving. And the time came for me to leave. And of course, I cleaned everything, cleaned all the bathrooms, or cleaned the bathrooms, and I always do a little exit video saying, here's the condition of your home as I leave this pet sit. Here's the condition of your pet. Your pet's been taken care of, all that. So I sent her the video, and I tell her about, any mishaps or anything like that. I forgot to tell her about the coffee pot issue. Now I cleaned out the water, the electric water kettle, and it's nice and clean. Everything's fine. But I forgot to tell her about the mishap about the coffee spilling. So she, has already invited me back next year this time to come back, but if the cat's still around, the cat was 13 years old. So, so, anyways, we say our good days, goodbyes. We both give each other a rave review on Trusted House Sitters. And then 2 days later, she's like, "Did you spill some coffee? Did you spill some coffee?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I completely forgot to tell her about the coffee mishap." And I did forget because I cleaned out that whole area, but I meant to go back and do another thorough cleaning, but I forgot to pull out that cart before I left to make sure that I did another thorough cleaning because I went and had to go get a mop head that I liked. Anyways, I didn't realize that when the coffee spilled, it spilled all on her cookbooks that were under the island on a shelf. And I felt absolutely horrible. I wasn't trying to hide anything. I wasn't trying to get away. I completely forgot because it happened 2 weeks earlier and I had already cleaned up. But I meant to go back and pull out all that and really do a thorough cleaning in the back. And so yes, her cookbooks got coffee stains all on them. And I felt absolutely horrible. And I acknowledged, I called her and, I was like, I am so sorry, explained, and she was very nice and gracious, but I felt so bad because again, part of my exit video, whenever I do exit video when I leave a pet sit, is to share, like, of course I'm sending pictures and giving updates throughout the stay, but just to let them know that their house is in good condition. So for me to leave and I completely forgot about it. But she was very nice. I felt bad. I did offer to send funds to replace some of the cookbooks, and she was like, "That's fine, that's okay, and everything. They're still usable." But yeah, they're all pretty coffee stained. So I share this because I just want you to know that yes, stuff does happen. Things happen. Unforeseen things happen. I remember there's a young lady in our community who was in. Oh gosh, I know this was not where she was. She was in Germany doing a pet sit. I could be wrong. Anyways, I believe she was in Germany doing a pet sit and she was watching a cat. And the cat came and chewed on her laptop and broke the screen. Okay. And she couldn't do a claim on her laptop because with Trusted House Sitters, because even though she had premium annual membership, it only covers like if there's a cancellation and she needs to be reimbursed for lodging. It does not cover her anything of hers being broken. So just FYI, I hope this is some good information right now. If you are doing a pet sit, you still need to have travel insurance. Yeah. Have your travel insurance. Usually, like some people, like on one of my credit cards, I know that if I purchase stuff through my on this credit card, that my travel insurance it will include if anything, any of my stuff is stolen or broken. So if my laptop breaks while I'm traveling and I bought my train ticket through this credit card, it would be covered. So just FYI, this person, I'm not going to say her name, but y'all know who you are if you're in the groups. She yes, her laptop got broke because the cat was chewing on it. Okay. So all that to say, yes, things do happen. It's unfortunate, but again, you just have to work through them and acknowledge that, like it had I completely forgot to tell the homeowner that I spilled coffee in her kitchen on the wall. And again, I didn't even know that it hit the books. But yeah, just being upfront and being transparent about any kind of mishaps that do happen, yeah, it's best to be upfront about that and or like after the fact, like I said, I forgot to acknowledge it and don't just ghost the homeowner. Don't do that. Okay, well, I guess this is a perfect time for this conversation stuff. Hi, Reset with Celeste. She said, I was just going to ask if your personal insurance wouldn't cover that circumstance. Yeah. Um, if now, so I have, again, I do have the premium trusted house sitters, and I think it's like 219 a year, $219 a year. But again, that only covers if if the owner cancels within, I think it's like 3 days. It does not cover flights. It does not cover flights, and it does not cover, I think it's like you get reimbursed, but it does not cover your personal belongings. So that's why it's very important that you do have your own, um, make sure that you either can activate your travel insurance on the credit card that you use to purchase the tickets to get to wherever you're going, or um, yeah, or have your own independent travel insurance. Yes. I will also say this because I do have private health insurance here in Spain. That coverage, that my coverage here in Spain covers all of the EU. Yeah, so I wasn't sure about that. I thought that maybe I was supposed to be like contacting my insurance company and being like, "Hey, I'm traveling," but no, it's covered in the EU. It's like, oh, that's good to know. Now, if I went back to the States, I think I can only be in the States for like less than, I think, maybe 60 days. Um, um, and that's it. But yeah, in the EU, I was covered. So I actually got a little sick. I my ear. Oh yeah, I started having a really bad like a pain that was coming like down. Like I thought I was had a tooth infection while I was in France, and it was like my jaw was locking. It was horrible, and I was like, oh my gosh, and I was like, I'm gonna have to go to the doctor. Yeah, I was like, well, I got to figure out. I have to figure out urgent care. And I realized what the problem was. I took some like ibuprofen or something, but I realized what the problem was. I was sleeping with the fan on, and the fan was like just hitting right here. And I couldn't figure out why all of a sudden I was like in pain. There was a fan like hitting right in my ear the whole time when I went to bed. Yeah. So I stopped doing that, and the pain went away. Okay. So, anyways, you guys, that's it. Thank you for joining me and letting me share some of my experiences, part two about my experience in Marseille, France. I'm really excited about that. And also, just FYI, if you did not know, please do check out in about 45 minutes. I'm about to be interviewed on Black Sit Global with Krishan, where I will be talking about life here in Spain and the services. Yes, again, let me go ahead and put that back out here again to say, and the services that I do offer. Why am I not together here? Anyways, okay, I'm just pulling stuff up here. Anyways, make sure that you, oh, there it is. Let's go back here. Make sure that you do, where am I at? Why am I not showing up here? Anyways, okay, so let's try this again. Since I don't seem, oh, banners, duh. I'm like, why can't I find anything here? I know why. There we go. And I meant to put it in the comments. So I'm showing it, but also I wanted to put it in the comments also. So that's why I'm kind of like looking confused here. So I'm putting this in the comments. So if you want to sign up and get on the wait list for the Travel Buddy experience, and if you're also considering moving to Spain and you need some more information, you need like somebody to hold your hand because you don't want to do it alone. And maybe you're like, I just can't take a course that's not me. I need somebody to talk me through the whole process. Me and my attorney here in Spain are here, and we're creating the relocation services, the relocation advisor services, to help you hold your hand and talk you through the entire process of moving to Spain. And please do get on the wait list so you'll know when everything launches, when my schedule opens up, and when we do launch the Travel Buddy and also the cultural immersion experience that I will be offering starting in January next year. Okay, so get on the wait list, get your information, be ready. Y'all have a wonderful day. I thank you guys for joining. I really do appreciate all of you for hanging out with me for the past hour. And definitely, like I said, Global in 45 minutes at what is going to be 2 o'clock. Yeah, 2 o'clock my time. No, 2 o'clock Central Standard Time.